Well, I have a background in educational psychology, and I know the importance of early literacy, and I know the negative outcomes associated with children who fall behind in literacy. And I think the programs here are wonderful in terms of how they attack the problem by both facilitating the learning and the importance of learning, and also making reading fun for the kids.
We've heard it said that if you start behind, you stay behind. Do you find that to be a true statement?
Absolutely.
What is it about starting behind that doesn't allow a child? I mean, I'm sure there's exceptions to every rule, and there are kids who do overcome that. But in general, what is it about that initial 0 to 3, 0 to 4 age?
Well, I think learning in general is a foundational experience, and the foundation for learning is literacy. And literacy needs to be not only accepted, but it needs to be a love for literacy needs to be cultivated at a very young age, or it just never happens. Instead of loving literacy, a child becomes frustrated, and it becomes that much harder, and the cycle spins out of control. And it's very difficult to recover from it.
Make Waves for Books is not teaching children to read, correct? What are they doing in terms of laying that foundation?
Well, what we do, and I think what is unique to Make Way for Books, is that we teach the teacher. We teach teachers to teach children to read. But the other, I think, important aspect of what we do is we don't necessarily teach children to read, but we teach children to love to read. And we teach children to want to read through some of the unique programs that we have.
There's a lot of frustration, anybody who's in education in Arizona. You know how many hurdles we have to overcome here. There's a big push now to make sure that kids who reached the age of 3rd grade, 4th grade don't hit that cliff. Arizona's not doing real well. What are some of your concerns, some of your fears of what you fear will happen if we don't take charge and solve this problem?
Well, I see that, frankly, to some degree at the university with my students there. You see the impact of a lack of a literacy foundation at the college level, and then I teach seniors in college, and unfortunately some of those individuals are going out the door of institutions such as the university, and they still don't have adequate literacy skills. And you wonder how well prepared they are for their professional careers, or any career for that matter.
Wow. We know, and finally, we know that giving a child literacy skills from a moral standpoint is the right thing to do. I don't think anybody would argue with that. But from an economic standpoint, for the community's sake, why is that the smart thing to do?
Well, I think literacy is the foundation for all learning. It's not just learning how to read, it's learning history, it's learning even mathematics, it's learning applications for any type of curriculum or classroom setting. So I think without the literacy foundation, children fall behind in everything and stay behind. And ultimately that impacts how they will fit into our society, what kind of jobs they have, and how well they do in life.
Does it have a direct economic impact on our community, the level of literacy among our children?
No question. It will have a direct and long-term impact on our community from an economic perspective.